Hey there, chemistry class. I am Professor Shay Bean. I am your instructor for this course. I am a full-time instructor at Chattanooga State Community College, and you can see me there in my office if you want to. I also am happy to meet with you virtually. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we go through this course. So this is week 1. This is our course homepage. Some of you have already jumped in and started working on stuff. Fantastic. Keep an eye up here for orange dots. That means you have something new. You might have an email. There might be a discussion board reply to something you posted. There might be something that was updated in the course. And so at clicking on any of these, if they have, especially if they have an orange dot, tells you what the notification is about. So keep an eye on those. I've already clicked into our homepage. You want to keep an eye on this page for news items. I will post news items here, and then you'll get a notification dot that there's a new news item. You also will get it on your home page. Back out here in the home page, you may have a bunch of news items up here, but then this one is our class, and we click in. Any of these news items, this works on this page or the main eLearn page, any of them, once you've read it and you don't need it anymore, like for example, maybe you've gone ahead and read this, you can get it out of your way by clicking this X. That doesn't actually delete it, that just gets it out of your way. So I'm going to click on X for a few of these. Oh, make sure you read all of these. All right, so there aren't any news items. Now let's say I've remembered I want something. I can go to the news tool and it's going to show me all those that I dismissed, and I can restore them if I want to. So I'm restoring all of these. And one thing that I skipped, when you first log into it, you're going to get a couple of splash screens here. This read me first. So this is going to show up, just a basic overview of the course. It's pretty generic. This is just telling you this is fully online lecture and lab. You're not required to come to campus for anything. And there is an introductions board that we use for marking attendance. You do want to dismiss this, or else it'll keep popping up every single time. Once you've dismissed it, if you want to go back and look and see what it said, you can click here. But this is also in our content, which is typically where you're going to go every time you come to class. It's right here in the read me first. And so those are those two items that we were just looking at. Your job this week to get started is to click on Getting Started and go through every single one of these files. So our course overview, there's our syllabus, there is our schedule. I really like this view because it kind of lays it out. When do we have due dates? We have homework due dates on Thursdays typically. It looks a little different week 6. We have homework deadlines typically on Saturday, and quizzes and labs due on Sunday. Again, there are a couple of weeks where it moves around just a little bit, but that is typical. There are the list of the 10 labs that we're doing, the titles of them, and there are the list of the 7 modules we're doing. Here's when the midterm exam is due. Here's when the final exam is due. So this is just sort of at a glance what's going on in this 7-week course. So I'll refer to this schedule a lot. If you have any questions as you're going through the schedule or any of these files, please don't hesitate to ask. You can shoot me an email or you can post on our discussion board. Our first discussion board assignment, we can find a link to it here. Actually, this tells you to email me. You should email me through the class list, or you can post on either of the discussion boards here. And this does link to our homework problems, quizzes, and lab discussion boards. And then this is our introduction discussion board. And a few of you have already jumped in on that, and that's fantastic. To email me, you want to email me through class list. If you go up here to, where is it, class list, I am at the top because if it's alphabetical, and I can click on this and it opens up an email window that I can send. So it puts my email address for eLearn here. All right, let me get rid of that. So again, go through all of this. Please pay close attention We've got this in a couple of places. As a Chattanooga State student, you have access to Microsoft Office online for free. You can also download it to your computer. It comes with OneDrive, which is a cloud storage for free, Teams, which you can use to reach out to me, and that's how I do my virtual office hours, and then Microsoft Lens, which lets you take photos and put them in save them as a PDF, and we will need to do that quite frequently in this class. So let me encourage you to take a look at that, download that app, and figure out how it works, learn how it works with that video. All right. So again, this is the getting started. There's some files here on how to succeed. We've got those free external resources linked again. And then to count you for attendance reporting, I do need you to post on that introduction board. Please do make sure that you read the instructions for it. And then you're going to jump into Module 1. And each of our modules is arranged very similarly. We will have 3 parts to it, typically: the reading and videos, the homework and the quiz, and the labs. You can get started on all 3 early in the week. I do encourage you to go ahead and get started on the reading early. There will always be a link up here at the top for the textbook assignment. You have a free online textbook for this class. So if I click on that, this takes me to our free textbook. Over here on the left, I can do I like looking at the content this way. So there's chapter 1, there's chapter 2, and we have part of chapter 3 that we're reading, so I can go to any spot. If I want to create a file, a login here, it'll save some notes and things like that. You're welcome to take a look at that. But this is totally free online. And if you have any questions about the textbook, please don't hesitate to ask. So there is your reading assignment. And if you run into anything that you've got questions, you can always post on our discussion board. I link to that quite frequently because I encourage you to reach out there. Sometimes your classmates will see it before me and they can jump in and help. So if you see somebody's discussion board post and you can help, I encourage you to jump in. All right. With each module, with each week's reading, I will often post videos, but if there is something that the videos don't cover that you want to see explained, post on that discussion board and I'll make a new video and post it. So there's some videos that go along with this material. We get a lot here at the beginning. Some modules, there aren't that many videos. Here are the links to all the homework and the quizzes. You should do the homeworks. There's typically going to be 2 homework assignments each week. All right. And then a quiz. The quiz is timed and you have to show your work on certain problems. Now, the homework is not timed. You can keep retaking it until the due date for a grade. It'll show you the ones that you missed, and you can take them over and over again, and you can get any help you want. You can Google these things. You can paste them into ChatGPT. You can reach out to your classmates. You can reach out to me to get help on the homework. That's totally allowed, and you should do that because these are the kinds of questions that you're going to, these are the kind of questions you're going to see on the quizzes and the exam. This first homework, we do have a practice trial run for uploading the work that we have to show. We never have to show homework work. That's homework is just for you. I'll grade it, but it's just for you. But on this very first one, we have a practice trial run for uploading your work to make sure you know how. Because when you get down here to the quiz, you will have to upload work for a grade. And if you don't upload your work, you're going to lose points. All right, so everything is linked here in the content in order. So your homework, there's that practice box. You'll never see another drop box for uploading homework again after this one. This one's just a practice, and it is an extra credit points. There's our homework 2. Please note due dates that are listed here, but we also saw those on the quiz. Don't open the quiz until you're ready to take it because the timer starts. All right. So read over this information. There's the Dropbox for your work that has to be done within a certain amount of time. There's also some information here. This is kind of neat. So you can kind of look this over and keep referring to it if you need to as you're going through this stuff. So that's one of the parts of each week in the module. We have the reading and the videos. We have the homework and the quiz links. And then we have the lab. And I encourage you to start looking at the labs early in the week in case you know it's going to take you a while. This week we do have 2 labs, but they're both relatively short. Some weeks we'll only have 1 lab, some weeks we'll have 2 labs. And so you want to click into them. These are never timed, but sometimes you do only have 1 attempt, so you may have to close it down and come back to it later. And typically you'll be doing your report in what's called a quiz, where this is where the due date is, but there'll be often some information, sometimes some videos, and then you'll click into this and open it up. And sometimes there's more instructions there. And so you're just going through these files, but there will always be a report at the end where you will take your lab report, write your lab report. Often in these lab reports, you'll have to upload work that's shown or pictures, and you'll do it within this quiz. So, and if you have trouble with any of those, please reach out and ask. We do have a second lab experiment, all right, this week. It does require some ice, to have some ice and a clear see-through glass or container. So you'll see about that when you read through it. We don't need a whole lot of materials for lab this semester. Occasionally we do, but typically it's stuff you're going to have around the house anyway. I think later in the semester we're going to need a ruler. All right. So anyway, so these are the modules. You see where the midterm falls after module 3. You see here's the final exam, and you can go ahead and start clicking on these. Everything is open. There are a few labs at the end that aren't open yet, simply because I have to give them a triple check before I open them, and I just haven't done that yet. But so you're welcome to work ahead, but don't get too far ahead before you get any of your questions answered. If you have any questions, pause, make sure you get those questions answered as you keep moving through. So again, next week, and I'll do a video for you at the beginning of each week, you see the same 3 modules, the same 3 sub-modules for module 2. Week 2, we've got the reading and the videos, we've got the homework and the quiz, and we've got the labs. And that's going to be the pattern that you see as we go through this. All right, please do reach out. Again, you can get to me by emailing me. You can get to me through my Teams link. There's how you get to my virtual office Teams link. Or you can get to me on the discussion board. If you post on this coursework discussion board, I will respond. All right, y'all, have a good week, and please reach out if you have any questions.